Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching episode 4 of Secret Invasion, and I gotta say up front, I think this is my favorite episode so far. It feels like so much has been building up to have like our first, not our first action scene, but our first like real combat scene where it feels like, all right, you have the Skrulls and the Super Skrulls against Nick Fury and Talos, and you know, what can they do? And it, it just feels like everything's been kind of crescendoing to this moment here, and obviously we're still gonna have like, what do we have, 2-3 episodes left, so we're still gonna have like a final payoff, a final showdown, I expect. But it feels like this is our first taste of like, all right, this is some of the action that we've been building to in what has been a very slow burn spy thriller of a show. So hopefully some people that have not been so down with the slow pace of this finally feel some kind of sense of payoff. But I gotta say, I really love this episode. Like, I was so excited when this ended. Like, I was shocked and like, kind of mind blown about what they did. And this show has just been great with that so far. So first thing we got, of course, is that, like many people suspected, Gaia is not dead. I think everyone generally, and not even just because some of the trailer footage had not been shown yet with her. So it's like, how is that moment in the trailer? She hasn't, she can't die yet, right? So she is alive. She did indeed give herself the Super Skrull serum, so she got Extremis, which means she can heal from her bullet wounds, which, if you remember Iron Man 3, really the only way to kill someone with Extremis is to get them to explode, essentially. So that's pretty much what has to happen if you want to kill anyone that has the Super Skrull serum, right? So there's that. And basically what we have is that we see the moment where Nick Fury's wife, who I can't remember her name, but his Skrull wife, who he has been away from for years, and it's unclear whose side she's on because he's been gone for like 5 years, and she's kind of had to mingle with her own people, her own Skrulls, and it's like, oh, did she change over to Gravix's side? I don't know. So she meets with Rhodey, and we get that confirmation that yes, Rhodey is indeed a Skrull. We kind of had that hint because his voice was on the phone in the last episode, so it's like, there you go, Rhodey is indeed a Skrull. Now we still do not know how long he's been a Skrull, or you know what I mean, like what the implications of this are. If they want to kind of take the safe approach, they could say like, oh, he's only been a Skrull for like, a couple weeks, but who knows? They could kind of be daring. If they had some real guts, they could be like, he's been a Skrull for at least half the movies. That would be crazy, because then you go back and watch some of those movies and you got to remind yourself, oh, that's not really him. So I don't know if they'll do that. I think that's gonna be the more gutsy option, and I feel like maybe they won't. But in any case, the Rhodey that we see here, the one that fired Nick Fury, he's been a Skrull, at least in this show. It's unclear how long, but in this show he has been. And yeah, so basically he tells her like, hey, I'm telling you to go kill Nick Fury. I don't care what Gravik wants. So it's kind of unclear what the power dynamic is there between the Rhodey Skrull and then Gravik, because although they seem to be working together, the Rhodey Skrull seems to like have his own thing, or her own thing. Sorry, it's a girl Skrull posing as Rhodey, so, but it's Rhodey, so I'm gonna say his own plan. Anyways, so we get a really tense moment between Nick Fury and his wife, and they just, we've only seen her for like, what, 2 episodes, and yet somehow they've already managed to like put so much tension in this relationship and so much like meaning behind it in their history by showing a couple flashbacks and like only a handful of scenes, and yet somehow I'm already like really invested in their relationship, which is crazy because before 2 episodes ago we didn't know it was a thing. So there's that. But yeah, they have like this kind of standoff moment where they don't know if they can trust each other, and they both pull guns on each other, and they're reciting this poem that they told each other years ago, back right when the events of the first Avengers movie was happening. I think that was just for fun. And they both end up not shooting each other, so they know they can trust each other now, because they both easily could have killed each other, and they both chose not to. So now there's like real trust, and he's like, okay, but they're gonna be after you, so you gotta be on the run. So she's probably going to be in hiding until they need her to save the day at the last minute. I imagine that's what's going to end up happening. You know, like he's going to be in trouble, and then out of nowhere, his wife is here to save the day. You know, so I'm sure she'll show back up in some kind of heroic moment. But for now, she's off the board. And then we get a moment with Talos and his daughter, who again is alive again because she has Extremis. And they have this disagreement essentially of like, Talos is like, you know, we can stay here on Earth, we can be the good guys, we can go to the president and he can give us like, you know, amnesty to stay here, the million of us that are here, and it's all gonna be cool as long as we're really good people, you know. And that's such an optimistic way, and that, you know, you feel for Talos so much because he really believes this. And you know, his daughter of course is much more cynical of like, you're delusional, you really think that that's how it's gonna work, that they'll ever let us walk around in our own skin? We're gonna have to be in hiding if we ever stay here. Which again, by the way, and I'm surprised no one in the show has brought this up yet, there is new Asgard on this planet. Okay, the Asgardians, aliens, you know, people from a different world, they already have been openly accepted into this planet Earth, and they already have like trade and tourism and all kinds of stuff, as we saw in Love and Thunder. Except the difference, of course, is that the Asgardians, for the most part, look human, and of course the Skrulls are green lizard people. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised no one's brought that up yet, but like that's a very clear of like, gee, I wonder what the difference here is between the Asgardians and the Skrulls. Why one alien group would be accepted and the other one maybe not so much, you know? I mean, the Asgardians have Thor to vouch for them, and the Skrulls would seemingly have Nick Fury to vouch for them, but they won't be treated the same because some of them are green, you know? It's so you know, I'm surprised they haven't brought that up, but that definitely seems to be the case. In any case, yeah, so she walks off. She's not agreeing that, like, even though she's not working with the bad guys anymore, she still does not just see a version of this where their home is gonna be peacefully living on Earth with the humans and everything's gonna be fine, right? Like, which she might be right. She has reasons to think that, logically, right? And then we also get so Nick Fury, he was listening in on that conversation between his wife and the Skrull Rhodey. So he goes to Rhodey's house and they have this very tense conversation where, you know, he has to pretend that he doesn't know that this is a Skrull that he's talking to. And, you know, I'm sure he's just like us. He's asking like, how long has Rhodey not been Rhodey? A week? A month? 5 years? Who knows? But in any case, there's that. And then basically they end up putting a liquid tracker, because they brought him a drink and he was kind of giving him like a test, right? Because, like, you know, like, are you really Rhodey? You know, like, I don't know how else to say it, but he was giving him a test by getting him to drink this drink. And you know, he acted the part and he still pretended to be Rhodey, although a very arrogant, you know, kind of nasty version of Rhodey than we've ever seen. But, you know, maybe that's what the Skrull thinks Rhodey would say to Nick Fury in this moment. I don't know. But in any case, basically they were able to track him to this attack on the president. And there's kind of a funny moment where, like, they had just been drinking and the president's like, Colonel Rhodes, have you been drinking on the job, like right before our big meeting with the Russians? And so, you know, just like the Skrulls have been planning, they're going to pretend to be Russians and they're going to attack this convoy with the president in it and try to kill the president, because, yeah, obviously that would cause like this epic world war between the Russians and the president. And that is essentially the Skrulls' plan. Now, admittedly, I've kind of been wanting there to be more to the Skrulls' plan. I kind of wanted there to be some kind of super weapon or some kind of like really crazy, clever plot. But really, it does just seem to be cause chaos between countries until a war erupts. And that's essentially as far as the plan goes. And after that, you know, once all the humans have killed each other, then the Skrulls will be the ones left over. And I guess, like, there's nothing wrong with that plan, but I was kind of hoping for like another step to that, like another, like, you know, oh, and we're gonna do that by, you know, detonating this giant bomb or releasing this virus or something. But no, it's just kind of like attack other countries, kill a president or a senator or whatever you have to do to cause more chaos, and then the Skrulls will win. That's essentially their plan. So there is this really epic shootout. It's a really great action scene. You have Nick Fury and Talos pulling up and trying to help the president and protect him, and they're having this shootout between the Skrull/Russians. They're just Skrulls. And we see a demonstration of the Super Skrull having Groot's arm power stretching out and using Extremis when Nick Fury shoots him. And unfortunately, and this is a pretty epic moment, Talos is shot and he's hurt and he's reverting back to his alien form. And at first, some of the humans are freaking out, like, it's an alien, he's after the president. But he's trying to like save him from this car that's been flipped over. And Talos ends up getting killed. He ends up getting stabbed by Gravik, and it seems like he's dead. And I know, this is like the, we ended one episode on Maria Hill's death, and another episode on Gaia's death, and now another episode on Talos's death. I think this is gonna stick. Talos did not really have any occasion where he could have gotten the Super Skrull serum, so I'm pretty sure Talos is gone, and that's really tragic, especially because now you can kind of predictably say that Gaia is going to come back and want vengeance, for her father being killed. So now she's going to have a reason to fight against Gravik personally, even if she didn't necessarily believe that there could be peace on Earth. But, she's going to want to take out Gravik because her dad died. So I imagine it's going to be Fury and Gaia now going after Gravik, and that's how this is going to play out from here on out. Nick Fury has the president, and he's driving him away. How are they going to explain all this? How is Nick Fury is going to have to find a way to explain, like, okay, so that alien was my friend. The Russians we were fighting against were actually aliens. That's why one of them had a Groot arm, which, by the way, I guess the plan was to kill everyone there, because otherwise you left witnesses that, hey, the Russians that attacked us, one of them had a Groot arm. So I don't think those were normal Russians, so I don't know if the plan, again, was just to get rid of all witnesses, because how is that going to work out? One of them clearly is not normal. Anyways, but yeah, that's where the episode ends. Talos is seemingly dead for real, and this is not going to be one that they take back next episode. Nick Fury has the president with him. They drove off to safety, and now he knows that there's Super Skrulls. How do you fight against this? What do you do? I don't know. Again, I guess the Extremis' main weakness is that they can explode, so I guess if you can get them in an explosion, that would be the way you finalize that. But other than that, it's like, Nick Fury, you better call some people, right? Like, call the Avengers, right? And I know the whole point is that they can't be, they'll be copied if they show up, right? But seeing as how Rhodey's already been copied, who knows how long, I would say, Nick Fury, now's the time to try to get an Avenger, at least one. Get Doctor Strange in here. He'll be able to conjure some kind of, sight thing where he'll be able to see right through their disguises using magic. Like that, do a Doctor Strange thing, right? Like, call somebody. That's all I'm saying, Nick Fury, right? Like, call someone whose powers they can't just mimic like that immediately, right? Like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm really enjoying this show. This has been like the strongest episode for me. It was really short, but the action was there, the pacing was there, and again, just the dialogue and the acting between all these people, it's just been like, just this is like the peak Marvel show going on as far as like dialogue and just characters talking. And I know that that's one of the main criticisms, is that it's just a bunch of characters talking, but they're talking so well. So it's like, I can't see that as a negative, because it's just so engaging. Like, I'm so like plugged into all these conversations that are happening. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about episode 4 of Secret Invasion, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.